Hi, Laura.
Hi, Zian. How are you? Good to see you.
I know, good to see you too. Welcome back to Lotus Chat Worldwide. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching and listening to us. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I encourage you to click subscribe and follow us on Spotify. And now that Spotify also uses video, so you could also check us out on Spotify. Yeah, so we have Laura today. Thank you so much for joining, Laura. And we're going to dive into a very Christmassy topic this week. And we are at episode 43, the magic of gratitude. Oh, I love that topic.
Me too, Zian. I'm excited to learn from you this week. So
likewise. And I'm going to dive in straight away. Okay. So tell me, Laura, what is the difference between being grateful versus being in gratitude?
First of all, I just want to say that there is a difference. In the English language, we tend to get a little sloppy and we use terms that maybe they don't really mean. And so someone who uses another language as their first language are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I thought it's the same.
Yeah, I know. Zian's like, what? So the first thing is being grateful. I'm grateful to Zian for being here tonight, because if she wasn't here, I'd have to be here on my own. And so I'm really grateful personally that Zian showed up. I'm grateful to the people in my life and for what they have done for me and what the lessons they've taught for me. But being grateful isn't a way of being. It's just, I'm grateful because I got something and there's something here for me. Or I can say, I'm grateful for Thanksgiving. I'm grateful, because there's a personal thing. But being in gratitude is different. Being in gratitude is a way of being. I am in gratitude whether the things in my life are going well or not. I'm in gratitude that I woke up today. I'm in gratitude that I have a job. I'm in gratitude that I have home, a warm home and food. I'm in gratitude that I'm constantly learning new things. I'm very much in gratitude for my coaching clients. So it's a way of being. I'm walking around being in gratitude rather than, not again. Uncle Sam is here for turkey dinner. And he's going to drink too much. And instead of being, like Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh, it's more like I'm living in gratitude and I'm grateful in myself and in my way of being. And I carry myself that way. And things happen all around me, but those are just things. I'm just in gratitude inside. So that's what that means to me. Do you have anything different that you've learned about being grateful or being in gratitude, Zian?
No, I'm learning from you this new term. And I thought it's the same, but as you are expanding on that, what I caught was that I think when we are in a grateful mode, we are depending on things externally. So when things are happening in our external realm, right? But if we are in a gratitude mode, everything is internal, it's intrinsic. So we're not really influenced or relying on something else. It's just our ways of being inside, something that we can control.
Okay, you just let me, this is something that the listeners might be able to connect with. Being in love is never easy. I was in love about 2 years ago. It didn't end well. And I was not in gratitude. I was not grateful. It was hurtful. My heart hurt. I cried for what seemed like forever. Now I'm in gratitude that person was in my life, that I learned so much from them, that I learned what it was really like to love someone unconditionally. And that even though it ended before I wanted it to, I'm grateful for the lessons that I've learned, and I'm grateful to what that person meant to me. That's the difference. Am I grateful that it didn't last? No. I wanted it to last longer. But I'm
Yes.
in gratitude for what I learned. I'm in gratitude for what that person brought into my life. And I'm in gratitude for the lessons that I learned. And it helped me on my spiritual journey. So that's the difference.
I love that. And that links to our next question. Why is gratitude important? And I think building upon what you just shared, I think why it's important is because it gives us a perspective rather than focusing on what didn't work. I am now focusing on what worked, and it gives me a different perspective in my mind.
Ooh, that's wise, Deanne. We ought to print that one. You're right. It gives us a different mindset. If we're always looking at what went wrong, our way of being is going to be what went wrong.
Yes.
And we can always do that. We can get mad at people and say, look what they did to me. They did me wrong. But when we're looking at, I'm in gratitude for the lessons I've learned, I'm in gratitude for what that person does. It doesn't mean that everything was rosy. What it means is that we are in gratitude for the lessons we learned, and our perspective is different. Instead of hating or being fearful, we're in love. That's what it is.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. What else do you think it's important? Why is gratitude important?
I think it also, and Ziana and I were talking about this before we jumped on. I think sometimes our way of being creates or manifests outcomes that we want or don't want based upon our mindset. So for instance, if my way of being is, I can't stand that person, they did me wrong, I want to see evil happen to them, blah, 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 that only reflects on me. That then my way of being becomes evil, getting back, revenge, fearful, and then I can't love others because I'm focused on what happened to me. When we're in gratitude, we look at all the good things and we say, yeah, it didn't last as long as I wanted it to, but our way of being becomes beautiful. We're a joy to be around. Have you ever been with somebody that does nothing but complain about their ex? Start feeling sorry for the ex. I don't even know them, but it's like, and that's kind of the way it is. If we're always in gratitude, not to say that things always go right, but if our mindset is, I'm going to be loving and I'm going to not be fearful and I'm going to be seeing this from an abundance perspective, we can love other people. We can give to other people. We can see the good in other people. But if we're focused on the negative and what happened to us and how dare them and all of that, it just reflects on us. So really, it's kind of the same thing that we hear about forgiveness. If you don't forgive someone, you can't forgive yourself and you can't forgive others. It's that same type of philosophy. If you can't be grateful and be in gratitude and have that way of being, then you can't have gratitude for other things. And then your mindset tends to turn to the negative. So that's why I think being in gratitude is very important. It sets our mind for the future.
Yeah, that's really good. And rather than dwelling into why did it happen, why was it like that, and go into all the why questions, we turn the questions into what? Like, what can I be grateful for?
Yes.
What can I be grateful from this circumstance, right? So I think it's gratitude. The gratitude mode is important because it's a powerful reframe. It reframes our mind and turn that into a positive experience.
And we always want to be around positive people. I want to be around positive people. I don't want to be around negative people. So it's kind of the same thing. Do you want to attract people with your positivity and your gratitude, or do you want to repel them because all you want to talk about is your dirty, rotten ex-husband or something?
Yeah. And the interesting thing about being in gratitude is actually just in your mind, like living and being in gratitude. So if you're going to live with your mind, might as well be beautiful and positive, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that leads me to my next question. And I'm sure this question a lot of listeners can relate to, at least I can relate to. But how, can we be in that mode of gratitude when things are not going as planned. It's easy to be in the mode of gratitude when everything is working out well, or even like, the things that annoys you are very tiny. But when, your pet peeves comes out, how do you be in that mode of gratitude? Oh my God, am I talking about myself? Okay.
See, and I love that. We were talking earlier about if I won the lottery and won $2 billion, I could really be in gratitude.
Yeah, exactly.
But then when things go wrong and the money, you have to pay taxes and your business manager mismanages and you have people that you don't remember coming out of the woodwork to use you, then all of a sudden things aren't going well. If our gratitude comes from outside influences, then we're never going to have gratitude. And this is why. Because you're at the mercy of someone else and their behavior.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, Zian, but I've known a lot of people who have disappointed me in my life, but I can't control that. That's their issue. That's their response. I can only control my response. And therefore, when things aren't going as planned, that's an amazing opportunity when we're in gratitude to say, okay, it wasn't meant to be. Now what is meant to be? We get upset at the outcomes when that's all we're focused on. So have you ever wanted something so badly that you were just like so focused on it and it didn't happen and your whole world fell apart? That's being attached to an outcome. And we don't have control of every outcome. It's not humanly possible to be in control of every outcome, especially when you have other human beings involved. So with that being said, what we can control is inside of us, so we can control our gratitude. We can say, I'm grateful for whatever outcome happens. Now, I know someone listening is going to say, well, I had a child who got very ill and died. I'm not grateful for that. And I'm not asking you to be grateful for that. That was very, very hurtful. And that's sorrow that I can't even claim or say. But obviously that little one taught you lessons, gave you love. I heard the other day someone say, my baby was only born and only lived for like 20 hours, but they lived the perfect life because all they knew in that life was how much I loved them. And so when we reprogram, and you said this earlier and it was really profound, when you reprogram how you see it, it doesn't mean it takes the pain away, but what it says is, I see this more beautifully than tragically. I'm not a victim, I'm a victor.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I wanted to add on to that. I think what you're also saying is for listeners out there who's listening, gratitude is actually a choice.
Yes.
You can choose to be in that mode of gratitude. And yes, we are acknowledging that things are not working out as what you want. But I guess such is life, right? If everything goes according to what you want, then you are God, but you are not.
If any listener out there can control every outcome, I want to know you. So
yeah, so that's how life works, right? Everything doesn't fall into the mold that we want. So we get to be in that mode of gratitude and use it as a choice. Yeah. I love that, Laura.
And our life is more positive, not that we discount what happened, but we see it in a way that was a growth opportunity. We see it in a loving way rather than a fearful way. And we can move on knowing that that person or that instance enriched our lives.
Yeah, and we see how much they have contributed into our life rather than taking it away, right?
Yeah, so many people that contributed to our lives we're angry at, we hate them, we talk evil about them because we feel it's personal. Most of the time it's not, it's their issue, and we just need to show love and light to them rather than I got hurt, so therefore I, you know. And there's a lot of that out there, and it affects how we view the rest of our world.
I love that reminder for myself. So I got to ask you this, Laura. Do you keep a gratitude journal?
Dan, I was afraid you were going to ask me that. No, I don't. But what I do is I have an app, and the app, I'm sorry, it's I'll have to tell you next week what it is. But I have an app, and every day there are positive affirmations that come through. And what it does is it comes through and shares positive things, and it kind of prompts me. And then in one of the assignments in the app is to write what I'm grateful for today, which I do. But I don't have a specific journal, but I need something structured like an app. And so the app,
okay, then
if I just have a book or a notebook, it ain't gonna happen.
This is the part that I'm unstructured, because I have an actual notebook that I write what I'm grateful for. I am not consistent in writing that. I don't write that daily, but I write it every time that I find it useful, because I don't want it to be an experience that's repetitive. I want it to be an experience that's really enriching and go into that. So I want to encourage listeners out there, if you want to be in that gratitude mode and you don't know how, I want to encourage you to either, like Laura, use an app, to prompt you, or you could use the good old notebook with a pen and a paper and then just write down. But when you write down what you're grateful for, I want to encourage you to, expand on that, go into the details on what you're grateful for. And when you are doing that process on your own, you're actually creating new meanings in your mind. So yeah, so that's really beautiful. Yeah.
If you want to know more, if you're a listener and you want to know more about gratitude, please check out Zian on Instagram. You can see her asterisk and her name on Instagram, and mine as well. And if you want to find out more about this topic, please look at our content and, instant message us too, because this is a topic that we really love. So check us out on Instagram as well.
So what are we talking the next topic?
Oh, thank you. I need a prompt. I told you. Zian's my app. We are in the season. For those of you that don't know what the season is, you are hiding under a rock. We are in the holiday season. We have in the United States of America, we have Thanksgiving, we have Hanukkah, and then we have Christmas, and then we have New Year's. By the time we get to New Year's, we're so tired and broke that it's like, gratitude, what's that? But what we want to talk about next week is discovering faith. And before you tune us out and say, oh no, what is this? We want to talk about faith in whatever is greater than us and how we are an important part of that process. Whatever your faith is in, we're going to honor that next week. But we're going to talk about discovering faith in this season and how that faith can help us get through this season with gratitude and being very joyful rather than being weighed down with the checklist, the work, and the credit card slips. So I'm anxious to talk about this, and I think Zian is too. So please join us next week for that. We really look forward to talking with you. As Zian said at the beginning, please check us out on Spotify. There is a video section and a listening section, and follow us and subscribe to us on YouTube if that's how you're watching us. We really value the comments. So if you have any comments or want to hear any type of subject for the future, please drop that in the comment section, or you can email us at lotuschatworldwide@gmail.com. So those are all ways that you can get hold of us, and we would value that very much. But the question I have for you this week, before we get together next week on Discovering Faith, the question I have for you is, how can you show your gratitude this week, and how can you reflect that in your way of being? It's kind of a deep question. Don't just kind of gloss over it. Think about it. How can you make some subtle changes in your life to show gratitude this week? And how can you reflect that in your way of being? And let us know in the comment section if you have success. with that, Zian, it is always so much fun to work with you. Thank you so much.
Likewise.
And we're going to sign out tonight, and we will see you next week. And take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.